This weekend there was an Art Nouveau festival going on in The Hague, and I went to a presentation over the life of a famous Dutch educator from the early 1900s, and his last name was Ligthart. And I learned quite a lot during the presentation about the way that he had introduced illustrated textbooks for classroom use. And they also had a famous something called App Note Mies, which was introduced to students and was used over decades. The illustrations were made by somebody named Jetses, that was the last name. And what I didn't know was that in Dordrecht, they were also doing an exhibition over the life of Jetses. So of course, I had to visit that today.
I'm here at the museum in Dordrecht. It's called Het Onderwijsmuseum, which means the Education Museum. And it's basically a museum where you can see the historical materials used in the classroom in the Netherlands. And it covers elementary and secondary education in general. You can also see exhibitions that they do over important people or important materials from the historic development of education in this country. So I decided to come here because yesterday I was at a festival for Art Nouveau, and during that festival I learned about two important educators who in the early 1900s were part of the movement to renew education in this country. And through that, those two lectures that I attended, I found out that there was a person named Jetses who actually did the illustrations of the books that were used in the classroom. And they were in the classroom from the early 1900s all the way through past World War II into like the 50s and 60s. So importantly, I happened to find out about this museum in Dordrecht, and I looked on their exhibitions for this summer, and I saw that Jetses was the main exhibition for the summer. So I decided to spontaneously come here today, which is basically one day after finding all this out. And I'm very excited because the museum itself is very beautiful. It has a very old building, and it has a really nice garden also attached to it, which is also something that I like to do during the summer. Look at the gardens and the different museums that have the nicer gardens. So I felt very much happy that on my very last day before I go back to school, I was able to come here, learn about Jetses' life, his illustrations that he made, see examples of his work and examples of what the textbooks look like in the Netherlands in the 1900s. And I highly recommend this to people who want to know about the history of the Netherlands as a really nice outing, because Dordrecht itself is a beautiful city, and I brought my bike here so I can go around later on. So it's been a really good day and highly recommended place to come and visit, and this museum in particular.